Okay, so today we're going to talk about parallel lines and transversals, and it says our goal for today is to find angle measures with parallel lines and transversals. So the first postulate, so the first rule we learn about today says if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the corresponding angles are congruent, okay? So corresponding angles would be like angle 1 and angle 5. What they're saying is that these two angles will have the same measure, okay? So if J is parallel to K, we mark those with those arrows. That tells us the lines are parallel. Okay. Another pair of corresponding angles would be like angle 2 and angle 6. They will be congruent. Angle 3 corresponds to angle 7, and angle 4 would correspond to angle 8. So those are my congruent angles. So what it looks like on a diagram, if M is parallel to N, mark them with your arrows. That shows that they're parallel. Find the measure of each numbered angle. So this angle that's 70 is exterior, angle 6 is interior. They're on the same side. We call these corresponding angles. The measure of angle 6 will just be 70 degrees. They are congruent to each other. Okay, right here, same idea. Angle 5 and that 140, they're going to be congruent as well. So I'm going to say the measure of angle 5 is equal to 140 degrees because they're corresponding angles. On the next diagram, I still assume M parallel to N. And then what they're giving us is two angles, so 45 degrees and 135 degrees. Okay, so from here, I need to decide, well, which one corresponds to angle 3? And that's going to be my angle 45 and that angle 3. So the measure of angle 3 is equal to 45 degrees. Okay, from here, it says the alternate interior angles theorem. This says if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the alternate interior angles are congruent. Okay, what that means is angle 3 will be congruent to angle 6. Those are alternate interiors. Angle 5 will be congruent to angle 4. Alternate interiors. Looking at the example problem, it says if line M is parallel to line N, they want us to find the measure of angle PQR. Well, this angle is an alternate interior to this angle down here, so I would say the measure of angle PQR is equal to 35 degrees. Okay, on the next one, angle PQR is going to be this angle right here, alternate interior to the 120, so that means the measure of angle PQR is 120 degrees. The next one, PQR, is going to be this angle right here. What is it alternate interior to? It is alternate interior to this angle right here, so the measure of angle PQR is equal to 70. Okay, next one says if line M is parallel to line N, they want us to find the numbered angles. Okay, so different things I could do here. I could say that this 90 is alternate interior to this angle right here, which makes it 90. Okay, I know that if I have a 90-degree angle right here, I should also have a 90-degree angle right just adjacent to it. Those lines will be perpendicular. So the measure of angle 4 is 90 degrees. I can fill in on this one. If my lines are parallel, it's telling me I have these two angles, and we said alternate interior angles are congruent. So that means the measure of angle 3 has to equal 65 degrees. Okay. On my next diagram, I could fill in my corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent, so I could put 100 there. Then I have right here, I have a linear pair. So from one side of the line to the other has to equal to 180. So I'm going to go 180 minus 100. I'm left with 80 degrees, and that will be the measure of angle 6. Okay. From here, they give me the alternate exterior angle theorem. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the alternate exterior angles are congruent. Alternate exteriors, alternate, once again we cross the transversal, so angle 1 crossing the transversal can't be adjacent, got to come down here. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. Angle 2 will be congruent to angle 7. Okay, they are congruent. All right, next one says, if line M is parallel to line N, find the measure of angle 1 and angle 2, and then explain. Okay, so I can fill in the measure of angle 2 is going to be 75 degrees. Why is that? Well, we said if the lines are parallel, then the alternate exterior angles are congruent. Okay, so this angle will be 75 degrees. Then from there, angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. So to find the next angle, I take 180 and subtract 75, and I get 105. So the measure of angle 1 is going to be 105 degrees, and I could say angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair, which means they're supplementary. They equal to 180. Okay. On my next one, it says if line M is parallel to line N, find the missing angle measure. Well, that's just that alternate exterior angles again. So the measure of angle 7 is 130. Alternate exteriors are congruent. Okay. On the next one, if I fill in my alternate exterior, that's going to put it up here. So this is 138 degrees. How do I get to angle 8? Well, I know that there are a linear pair. And linear pairs equal 180. So I'm going to take 180 and subtract 138, and I am left with 42 degrees. So the measure of angle 8 is 42 degrees. Next it says if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the same side interior angles are supplementary. Supplementary means that they equal to 180. So this pair is a little bit different than the others. Okay, so if J is parallel to K, then the following must be true. Angle 3 and angle 5 are on the same side interior. I call them same side interior, which means they are supplementary. Angle 4 and angle 6 are same side interior. They are supplementary. They equal to 180. Okay, so when we get down here, these two angles have to equal to 180. If I take 180 and I subtract 80, I'm left with 100 degrees. So the measure of angle 5 is equal to 100 degrees. Okay, on the next one, these two angles equal to 180. So I can take 180, subtract 130, I'm left with 50. The measure of angle 6 has to be 50 degrees. Okay, taking a look at this last one, they're marking our lines parallel for us. These are alternate interiors. Earlier we said alternate interiors are congruent. Congruent means they're the same. So we're just going to say x plus 35 has to equal 120. If I subtract 35 from both sides, I'm left with x is equal to 85 degrees. Okay, the next one, these two angles are same side interiors, and same side interiors are supplementary. What that means is I'm going to add them together and set them equal to 180. So here I have x negative 2 plus 78 gives me a positive 76 equal to 180. If I subtract 76, I'm left with x equal to 104 degrees. Okay, the next one, I have corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent when the lines are parallel. So I'm going to say 5x plus 15 has to equal to 180, equal to 125. They're congruent. And from here, if I subtract 15, I get 5x is equal to 110. And my last step, divide by 5. I'm going to find that x is equal to 22. Okay, this last problem right here, there's different ways I can do it. Okay, I could say that this angle corresponds to this one here and fill in my 2x plus 10, and then I have a linear pair. And a linear pair is going to equal to 180. Okay, so I'm going to say 2x plus 10 plus 90 equals 180. 2x plus 100 equal to 180. If I subtract 100, I get 2x is equal to 80. And when I divide by 2, I'm going to find that x is equal to 40.